Overthinking is a lie. The brutal truth about analysis paralysis. Before we begin, I want you to answer a question. What's your biggest insecurity? Don't skip past this. Actually think about it. What's the one thing about yourself that you're ashamed of? The thing you try to hide from everyone. I'll wait. Got it? Good. Now I'm going to tell you a story that's going to make some of you very uncomfortable. The other day, I was talking to someone I work with. I asked him, what's your biggest weakness? You know how people react to that question. They dodge it. They avoid giving you real sensitive information. So after some intelligent prying, I twisted his arm and got it out of him. His biggest insecurity? Overthinking. And the second he said that, I knew exactly who I was dealing with. Because here's the truth about people who claim overthinking is their problem. That's not their problem. Their real problem is that they're afraid to take massive action. So they keep themselves entertained by thinking and thinking and thinking. They call it overthinking. I call it cowardice disguised as intelligence. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know the brutal truth about overthinkers and how to cure it for good. Let's go. Let me be very clear. The person who claims overthinking is their biggest problem is lying to themselves. They want you to think they're intelligent, deep, thoughtful. They want you to believe they're sitting there analyzing every angle, considering every possibility, being strategic. Bullshit. What they're actually doing is chasing their tail like a dog. They sit there asking, what if this goes wrong? What if that doesn't work? I need to do this before I can get to that. And they do this for months, years, and they call it overthinking. Here's what it really is. Entertainment. The amount of entertainment they get from overthinking is unbelievable because overthinking doesn't hurt. There's no pain associated with thinking. You just sit there. You go in circles. You imagine scenarios. You feel productive without actually doing anything. It's the perfect excuse. The cure to overthinking is massive action. And massive action is terrifying because when you take massive action, sometimes you fall flat on your face massively. That's why the overthinker would rather sit there in analysis paralysis and do nothing. They don't want to take responsibility for failing. They don't want to feel the sensation of embarrassment and shame. So they sit there, twiddle their thumbs, and call it overthinking. Anybody can do that. But when you take a massive fall from taking action, it's hard to get up sometimes. It knocks the wind out of you. It knocks the inspiration out of you. It knocks you into another dimension where you become depressed. And that's when you really start overthinking. I should have never done that. What was I thinking? How come I didn't see that coming? I'm so embarrassed. How am I gonna get myself out of this? That's the real overthinking. The guy who takes massive action is more intelligent than the guy claiming he's overthinking. Why? Because the guy who takes massive action gains experience. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get unlucky, but you learn. The overthinker, he learns nothing. He's still in the same place he was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, thinking, analyzing, paralyzed. Let me tell you what happens when you take massive action. Some of the most unbelievable things happen, both good and bad. The negatives, you meet Awful people. People who sabotage you. People who betray you. People who smile in your face and stab you in the back. There's nothing you can do about that. Now you learn. You have to choose who you work with carefully. Taking massive action costs you money. Oh my God, that's the worst part. How are you going to get that money back? Now you got to work double to recover what you lost because of your idea. Those are some of the negative things that happen when you take massive action. But here's what the overthinker doesn't understand. All of that, the betrayals, the losses, the failures, was always waiting for you. It was destiny. You were going to experience it eventually. The only question is, are you going to experience it while trying, or are you going to
avoid it by doing nothing? So anytime someone tells you they're overthinking, you now know the truth. They don't have the balls to take action. They don't have the balls to fail, adjust, and try again until they get the results they want. That's the cure for overthinking. You can't read your way out of it. You can't think your way out of it. Massive action is all there is. So you might as well start swinging. Start swinging for the fences. Learn how to connect. Learn how to hit a home run. To hit a home run, it takes lots of practice, lots of swings, lots of misses. But you swing. Books that destroy overthinking. Now let me give you some tools that actually work. Not therapy talk, not motivational fluff. Real frameworks from people who fought this battle and won. Book 1, The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. Pressfield calls overthinking resistance. Resistance is the invisible force that stops you from doing your life's work. It shows up as fear, self-doubt, procrastination, rationalization, overthinking. Pressfield says resistance is most powerful right before you're about to do something important. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the louder resistance gets. Overthinkers mistake this for being smart or being careful. It's not. It's resistance trying to keep you stuck. Pressfield's cure? Turn pro. Professionals show up every day. They don't wait for inspiration. They don't overthink. They sit down and do the work. Book 2, The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins discovers something simple but devastating to overthinkers. When you have an instinct to act on a goal, you have 5 seconds before your brain kills it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. That's it. If you wait longer than 5 seconds, your brain will talk you out of it. It'll say, wait, think about this more. What if it doesn't work? You're not ready yet. The 5-second rule kills overthinking instantly. You don't give your brain time to sabotage you. You count down and move. Book 3, Atomic Habits by James Clear. James Clear breaks down why overthinking destroys progress. Overthinkers focus on goals. Winners focus on systems. Goals require you to think about the future, plan, strategize, overthink. Systems require you to focus on the next action. What's the smallest possible step you can take right now? Do that. Then do the next one. Then the next one. Overthinking dies when you focus on the process instead of the outcome. Book 4, Courage is Calling by Ryan Holiday. Ryan Holiday breaks down the Stoic philosophy on fear. The Stoics believe that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action despite fear. Overthinkers wait until they're not afraid. That day never comes. The Stoics say, feel the fear, acknowledge it, then act anyway. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Overthinkers give power to their thoughts. Stoics take it back. After this video, don't ever open your mouth and tell somebody your biggest weakness is overthinking. And anybody who tells you their biggest weakness is overthinking, you already know who they are. They're scared. They don't have the balls to take action. They don't have the balls to fail and get back up. The best way to cure your insecurity of overthinking, get out there. Come up with an idea. Think it through.
I didn't say overthink it through. Then take action. See what happens. Once you take action, you own it. You're a person of action now. Did it work? Yes. Celebrate. You were victorious today. Did it not work? Get ready to stitch your wounds, heal, and get out there and do a better job. Now you know more than you did before you even made the attempt. Everything you experience, the unfairness, the rudeness, the betrayals, the ups, the downs, it's all fair game. That's life. That's reality. It was always there waiting. Maybe you'll get whacked this time. Maybe the person after you gets whacked. Regardless, you're gonna get whacked. No amount of overthinking is gonna stop that from happening. You might as well get out there and mix it up. Roll up your sleeves. Get ready to get some mud in your eye. Have the balls to say, I can and I will, and charge out there and do the best you can.
At least when you go home and go to bed, you can say, I had the balls to do it. I had the balls to take action today, and I'm going to have the balls to take action tomorrow and beyond. Just listening to this video isn't enough. I want you to feel scared when you're taking massive action. I want you to feel that sensation where you say, oh my God, who am I to believe I could pull this off? I want you to take massive action and have your team look at you like, what were you thinking? And then you got to tell them something to keep them believing that you're the one for the job. If you're still overthinking, if you can't control your emotions, if you can't control your thoughts and actions, you're still stuck in first grade. If no one taught you how to deal with stress and overcome stressful situations, you have to teach yourself. You can't continue to be a worker drone all your life, waiting for somebody to give you commands. Get out there and make an impact. If someone ever asked you, what are your biggest insecurities? You should say, none. I neutralized all my biggest insecurities. I confronted them. I made sure I stomped them out. Because everyone acts like having a big insecurity is normal, natural. Okay, some people might say, you're always gonna have insecurities. You're always gonna have a big insecurity. Why do I have to believe that? Why can't I be the person who eliminated all my insecurities? No one taught me how to do it, so why can't I teach myself? I don't wanna have a big insecurity. I don't wanna live with that. And I damn sure don't want my biggest insecurity to be overthinking. That's not even a real insecurity. That's not a problem. Unless you really believe it's a problem, then it is. No matter what you believe, it's true. No one cares that they think you're delusional. No one cares about your insecurities, let alone your biggest insecurity. How long is it gonna take to completely suffocate my biggest insecurities? Why can't I be the person who has no big insecurity? Why do I gotta be a part of this? Says who? I wanna live the life I wanna live. I wanna program myself the way I wanna be programmed. I've already been programmed by the system. I've had enough. If you want whatever big insecurity you have to be a part of your identity, go ahead. Some people don't wanna confront their biggest insecurities because it makes them who they are. It makes them comfortable. Maybe the thought of taking massive action is gut-wrenching, and they just believe they don't have it in them to completely terminate their biggest insecurities. What a crazy world we live in. Just because you're working on terminating your biggest insecurity, when does the work end? When do you move on and close that chapter? Some people are working on quitting addictions for decades. If that gives them something to do, I'm not saying they're wrong. Maybe they don't know who they are without the addiction or big insecurities. Regardless, you choose what your big insecurities are. You can choose to work on them, and you can choose to work on them forever. But this video is for people who want to inquire about what to do if they have a big insecurity and they want to get rid of it 100%. You have the power. For some great reason, no one wants to teach you how to use these powers. Why should anyone teach you? Teach yourself, damn it. You're intelligent enough to teach yourself 100%. If you have a big insecurity, and especially if your insecurity is overthinking, what are you doing to make that go away? Do you expect it to go away? Do you not mind? Is it something you just live with?
Do you plan on growing old with it and dying with that as your biggest insecurity? What makes you believe that overthinking is something worth hanging on to? Don't you want the spoils of someone who takes massive action? Don't you want that title? Or do you want the title of being that overthinking guy? Is that what you want for yourself? Yes or no? If yes, okay, great, fantastic. If no, let's do something about that. I'm so glad I had that conversation with the guy I'm working with, because I'm at the point where I have zero tolerance for any BS thoughts. Any BS emotions my thoughts stir up that don't align with my vision. I'm just not gonna tolerate it. And I'm not gonna sit there and fight with it every day. I'm not claiming any insecurities for me. I don't want that. I want what I want. It's time for me to be very selfish about what I want for myself. I want to enjoy the internal dialogue that goes on in my head. And if I come up with a bright idea, I don't want to be stopped by my own self, by the anti-me. I don't want that.
My God, how come this isn't common knowledge? Here's your 24-hour challenge. Pick one thing you've been overthinking, the one idea, the one action, the one conversation. For the next 24 hours, you're taking massive action on it. No more thinking, no more planning, no more let me just figure this out first. Do it. And when you do it, I want you to feel the fear. I want you to feel the nerves. I want you to feel like you're about to fall flat on your face. Then do it anyway, because that's how you kill overthinking. Not by thinking your way out, by acting your way through. For those who want to drown out their biggest insecurities, you should be looking for opportunities during your waking hours to completely annihilate those so-called biggest insecurities, especially if it's overthinking. That's an easy one to break. It doesn't matter what it is. You're better off making 1,000 attempts than sitting there and living with that insecurity. What about the rest of life? If you're so intelligent, if things go bad, you can think your way out of it, and you can take massive action to get out of it. You just really experienced what life is all about. It was always waiting for you. It was destiny. Whatever you experience because you want your bright idea to be a reality, that's destiny. Go shake destiny's hand and say, sorry, I'm late. Invite destiny to dinner. I think we should start consuming more reality. We should make reality work really hard, because a lot of us, we're not making reality work hard. We're just making reality have the easiest time because we're not testing the waters. We don't know if reality wants to reward us for taking massive action. We know we can. We can imagine what it feels like to fall flat on our face. But what if we push reality into giving us its best? How about that? That's another good reason to take massive action. Whatever energy reality is working on, maybe it's an infinite amount of energy, we should be greedy and consume a lot of reality's energy. Even if it's infinite, it doesn't matter, because a lot of us are living the same days over and over again. And then you're just getting older. Wow. 24 hours, starting now. Stop overthinking, start executing. Let's go, baby.